Hello, friends and followers of Beyond the Summit. We're back with EU Summit coverage. I'm Zyori, with me is LD, and we've got Fnatic versus Power Rangers. This is a big one, LD. Fnatic are 4-0, Power Rangers are 3-1.
It is a big one. I like how you're like friends and followers. I was expecting like rainbows and unicorns to just start like.
If we could get some graphics
exploding
so that
out
I
of the
could
dust.
shoot rainbows out of my hands, I would be all about that. I think we could make it work at some point, but I don't know. Roland's production skills aren't quite that advanced yet.
Someday.
CG and some rainbows and other glowing effects.
coming soon.
We could do it WPC style, start throwing water all over the studio.
Coming soon to a theater near you. But yeah, Fnatic has looked by far the most dominant of the group stage. They're 4-0. Their record's the best right now. But more importantly, it's just been easy for them. Like,
yeah.
their first match against who did they play? I don't even remember.
rox.kis?
Their first match was closer,
no.
but
Who was their first match, actually? Yeah,
it was rox.kis. The rox.kis match was a bit closer. rox.kis kind of made some silly mistakes in the mid game, and but even then, it was never that close. So.
Yeah, so Power Rangers, they've been playing pretty well. They have Scandal in their roster now, as we mentioned plenty of times. He's replaced ZXC, and we can go ahead and hop right into our draft here as the picks are coming out pretty quickly. The one loss that Power Rangers have was actually to rox.kis. So if you think about that little mini group stage between those three teams, Fnatic beat rox.kis, rox.kis beat Power Rangers. I think that means Fnatic should probably beat Power Rangers at least on paper. But
that
doesn't
logic
really
is
mean anything.
So useless.
I know. I wish it wasn't so useless.
A beats B and B beats C, therefore A greater than C.
Pretty sure there's a logical fallacy there that we could look up, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, in math, it's true. When it's just pure numbers, it's true. But
yeah,
teams are a complex beast.
Dota's.
You're not giving them credit. These are people, Andrew.
more than just
Have a
zeros
soul,
and ones. Oh man. So Fnatic, they grabbed that big branchy leafy green tree, and
somebody finally
banned
banned Wisp against them.
Yeah.
Thank God.
They played Tree in not last game, but the first game today, and they also first picked him as well. So they are loving that Tree and Protector.
No Tails roaming Tree has been pretty beastly lately.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of support players have been showing off their skills on this hero, but it's just a very annoying hero to play against. It kind of forces you to change your game plan a bit, and it's like playing against a Wisp. When you play against a Wisp, it like changes the way you think about the game because you're constantly worried about relocate ganks and just the threat of backdoor attempts if the game goes later. There's an extra dimension of the game that you have to worry about. Same with Tree in the landing stage. Like, you think you can go dive for a kill, then he pops living armor, fight turns around. It's just an extra dimension you're not used to dealing with. And also when you're pushing, if you don't kill the tower, obviously they can heal it back up. So
yeah.
One thing I'm wondering is, are we going to see the Lich Tree combination for the invincible god towers of doom?
I'm ready for it. I'm ready and waiting. I'm a little surprised Fnatic didn't ban out Dazzle here. Ever since I saw that Shadow Demon Dazzle Centaur tri-lane once in WPC, I've been waiting for someone in the West to do it. It is ridiculously strong, and it's also good because teams don't usually expect Centaur to be in a tri-lane. He's usually that off-lane hero. Sometimes we've seen him in a dual-lane mid, but he can be in really potent killer tri-lanes. And even just Dazzle, Shadow Demon together are really scary, and Hoofstomp Double Edge on top of that, you'll be hard-pressed to
He's very
survive.
good in tri-lanes. The only issue is that you really want to get levels on Centaur.
Yes.
And
you have to make kills happen with that kind of a
yeah,
setup.
if you don't, then you go into the mid game and your Stampede's delayed, your max, both of his nukes really should be maxed, and you want at least 1 point return, and then late game, obviously, you want it maxed as well. So it's pretty risky. I think dual lanes are okay compromise, but generally, I feel Centaur is, I'd say like 80-90% of the time is best off just on the solo role, but you are right, like you have that option in some cases anyway, so.
Flexibility. They'll fourth ban Bane, they being Power Rangers, to prevent Fnatic from getting that Bane-Mirana duo, and they've already grabbed the Shadow Demon themselves, so limiting what kind of setup they can find. But Mirana's one of those heroes that's a great pick because there are scary heroes you almost have to ban out to stop her from getting easy arrows, but even if she doesn't have some crazy easy setup, she's still just a good hero. She has that flexibility to play support, off lane, or the position one, and as we saw in that last match, towards the end, Trixie was hitting pretty hard with that Maelstrom. Power Rangers will third pick the Luna. Got a little Moon Rider on the field here, so that will be their position one hero. And still a pretty open-ended draft for Power Rangers, but three very scary heroes.
Yeah, drafting Luna is a nice choice against Tree because she can push pretty early before the living armor's highly leveled up. Sure, later in the game it's hard to push against him, but it's a well-rounded pick. Like you mentioned, go with the Shadow Demon. You can get the mass Luna army later on, so I think Luna is just a solid all-around pick. You see Tree Mirana, but you don't really know what Fnatic's greater strategy is. And I want to point out Fnatic banned Kunkka, which I think is a very smart ban.
Yep.
I think Kunkka is the most underrated here on the patch right now. It's very early. It's only been like 12 hours since the patch has been played competitively, or maybe like 14 hours. But I already thought this hero was very good and underpicked in 6.80, and he got like a swarm of buffs in the latest patch. So.
And especially when a Shadow Demon's already been picked up, that makes for like the easiest torrents you'll ever find. And of course, easy torrents translates into easy boats, and that usually means you're killing something. So we did see it the other day. Again, when I was casting with Hippie, there was a Shadow Demon Kunkka support duo, and they just roamed around, and they were just killing people left and right. There was really nothing to slow them down.
Support Kunkka's, I'd say it's fairly legit. I still think I like him a bit better as more of a farmer. Not as a hard carry, but as like a secondary or third core. But wow, Ember Spirit, actually. With the new patch, I've been thinking about all these new heroes, but Ember Spirit, he did get nerfed in the last patch, albeit it remains to be seen how huge the changes are. I think the biggest change, well, actually, both of the changes are pretty big. The Searing Chain's duration, the main thing is that you can't really get a value point in Searing Chains. It used to be in the previous patch, level 1 Searing Chains, you have the 2-second disable. Now you have to at least take 2 points in it to get a 2-second disable. At level 1, it's only 1 point. Similar to
1 second, yeah.
Yeah, 1 second. So Flame Guard, kind of the same thing, where level 1's really crap. Sleight of Fist, still probably his best spell to max, I would say, in most cases. Along with one of the other spells. Like, you'll get Sleight of Fist +1, but it doesn't do as much damage. It's a lot less damage when it's max. That is a pretty big nerf. At level 4, it does a +80 damage instead of +120. That is that's a third nerf. That's a 33% reduction in damage. That's pretty significant.
It's pretty significant, but I think the Searing Chains one is a little more game changing, because there was either that value point at level 1 for Searing Chains or that value point at level 3. Those were the big blockbusters for 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Yeah. Now Searing Chains, you pretty much have to go big or go home. It's either, all right, maybe you get it level 1 just because it's a disable, but you got to keep leveling it up. Sleight of Fist, it reduces the damage he does early on, but Sleight of Fist is still going to be scary 30 minutes into the game when he has a Battle Fury. That extra 40 damage is, I don't know.
Well, generally, yeah. Although I'd say most teams were not picking Ember just to get him 6-slotted and farm for 30 minutes. They pick him because he just crushes like around the 10 to 20 minute
mark. It hurts that early game and lets him snowball a little bit less.
But later on, I agree, it's not the biggest deal. But we're gonna see it, man. Tree Lich combo.
Yeah.
Invincible towers.
Yay, Lich! I was looking at your screen. I was looking at the patch notes. All right, we get to see some Lich action here. So Fnatic have run Tree and Lich in the first 2 games we saw earlier today, but not together. So this will be the first time we see Living Armor, Frost Armor.
What is the best way to deal
Dragon Knight.
I think the best way to deal with Living Armor, to be honest, is probably Pugna, Death Prophet, or Leshrac.
Okay.
Heroes that can use spells to damage towers. So if you're really worried about this, I don't know how strong it's going to be. The downside to Tree Lich is they're fairly passive supports. Yeah, Tree at level 1 can get boots and be
stuns.
A nuisance. And they have Overgrowth, they have Chain Frost with the mini stun, but yeah, not like a reliable true stun. And that's where something like Storm for Power Rangers could have been very strong, though they already have their cores, and they'll be just looking to ban out a Storm for Fnatic here.
And they'll need that final support. I have to imagine that Dazzle will be banned out here from Fnatic. I can't imagine another support that Power Rangers would rather have in this scenario. I mean, maybe something like a Lesh if they want to knock down these towers and they're worried about the armor combo from the Lich and the Tree. Lesh could be an option, and Lesh also pairs very nicely with the Shadow Demon. No, they will have to ban out the Shadow Shaman. Not a bad ban. Always a good support.
He's good against Tree because the wards have so many damage instances, so just instantly removes the living armor from towers, and he pushes well with Luna. I think that was a decent ban.
Yep. I hadn't been thinking about Shadow Demon, or pardon me, Shadow Shaman. But yeah, they could have picked him here if they wanted some more pushing power.
Kunkka's already banned. Morana's already picked. There's no real great...
Lesh or Dazzle, LD. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I would probably go... Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe Dazzle... Maybe Lesh is a better pick this game because they have the Luna and because they're up against Living Armor.
Yeah.
Frost Armor.
Did Lesh get any changes this patch? I don't think
His
so.
lightning, slows everyone, I believe.
Oh, but yeah, it's for half a second or something. It's not very...
Yeah, now slows its targets by 75%, which is pretty significant, but for 0.5 seconds.
Okay, so not too big. Well, they'll prove me completely wrong. Witch Doctor. Yeah, look at it go, indeed.
Good pushing support, actually. They have Viper, who's quite tanky, Luna, who's good in 5-man, and Witch Doctor, underrated as a 5-manner because of Voodoo Restoration, so... I like Witch Doctor. I know Fogd is a huge fan of this hero.
I like Witch Doctor. He's cute.
I like him. I think he's good in certain situations, like with push strats, also with Faceless Void, or Magnus Enigma, like big AoE combos that set up the Death Ward. That's where he really excels for me. So,
yeah, his ultimate can be ridiculous. Once he gets a scepter, I'm pretty sure he has the highest amount of potential physical damage output in like that window of his ultimate because it bounces. Yeah, his ultimate does physical damage. Don't look at me like that, Roland. Jesus. His ult does physical damage, bro. Yeah, that's alright. Get schooled. Elder Titan, the final pick for Fnatic. This is a very interesting Fnatic draft. They'll still try and do this Ember Spirit Elder Titan duo, set up with the chains and Earth Splitter to follow up.
So annoying to push into Fnatic. Not only are their towers really, really tanky, but on top of that, they have Elder Titan Ember. This is like, you ban out the Wisp, they'll go with a different strat here, but we have seen this exact strat from them before. Although, normally it's Trixie playing Ember, in this game it will be Hani, so that's a bit of a change.
Yeah, and it will be Era on the Elder Titan.
Wow, that's surprising.
That's really surprising. Position.
He has played offlane for them, like he was playing Centaur when Trixie was on Ember, but they're running Hani on the Ember, and they're still running him offlane, so... Must be, I guess they just want Trixie on Mirana and comfortable with his Mirana. Not really sure.
Interesting. So let's introduce these rosters here. We've got Power Rangers on the Radiant side. It will be FNG on the support Witch Doctor here in the bottom lane. He'll be joined by Moon, the position 1 player for PR on the Viper. That means it will be Scandal on a solo mid Luna. J4 will be on the Shadow Demon. Right now he's stationed about the mid lane outside the Radiant Ancients. He may be supporting mid or maybe tri-laning down in the bottom lane. And of course it will be an off-lane Centaur here. Cheshire Cat will take the reins on the half-man, half-horse, all-beast.
All beast. No Tail on the Fnatic side. We have No Tail playing the Treant. He wandered bottom. He actually placed an Observer Horde here first and did spot the Radiant support going to place this ward. Don't know if he saw exactly where it got dropped, but probably something they can deward. Yeah, he's on the tree. You've got your Lich going dual lane mid to start, at least. Fly will deny a single creep. He could head somewhere else. For Hani, who's playing the Ember Spirit, and that does leave in the safe lane Trixie on the Mirana. So Trixie going to the safe lane, and it should be Era in the off lane. Yeah, Era heading bottom now with the Elder Titan.
Yeah, looks like he's headed down that way. I've always wondered, what is this weapon that Elder Titan is carrying? Like, is that just a? It's just a rock? Is it like a rock with a handle? I've never seen a weapon quite like that in any other game.
It's like a it's like what are those things that like you used to put like your personal label on envelopes?
A label maker?
It's like a label.
The price
like a
gun?
staple gun or something.
A staple gun actually does kind of look like one. That's funny.
I don't know. This is weird. Oh, Era, not the best block. Oh no, never mind. He caught it. Thought he lost his block for a second.
Yeah, he brings it back in. Elder Titan does have a big frame. It's a little easier to block with. Oh,
well, we got the range creep in front, which was the main thing. So it works out.
Well done.
In the mid lane, let's see. Ember Lich.
Versus...
You don't want to dual lane against Lich normally. That is not fun.
Yeah, and even Luna mid is a little bit risky. We were talking about this the other day, and this is the second time now in like 5 days I've seen a Luna mid. So maybe
I think
the future.
I think they just expected an Ember here by himself. And,
yeah.
And the Lich to be off bottom.
The Paralyzing Cask takes a couple of bounces, but they just can't follow up. Witch Doctor with a double damage to get things started. Too bad they couldn't get a first blood out of that.
The good news is, even though they're up against Lich, it is a double ranged hero lane with Luna Aura. And Witch Doctor has a very strong right click. Good range, good attack animation, decent damage as well. He is very squishy, 0 base armor, and very low base strength. Like, this has to be one of the squishiest supports in Dota.
Yeah.
But, he might get caught here.
Yeah,
There's boots on No Tail. This could even be first blood, baby.
No Tail's just straight branching him. There's the boots coming into work. Leech Seed. Look how much damage the tree does. It's just absurd.
0 armor, man. 0 armor. That's going to be first blood unless he denies to the Ancients. Not going to happen.
Makes it easier for No Tail. There's that tree. 88 starting damage. Leech Seed makes it possible. And Fnatic get on the board with that first kill.
I gotta say, he was way too far up, though. Like, why are you walking over here? He didn't have a ward or anything. He wasn't going to ward. He was just getting a little overconfident with Tree off the map. But, yeah, that's Witch Doctor for you. Amazing support in certain situations, but one where positioning is crucial for the death ward and for the laning stage with his very low HP and armor.
underestimating the power of the tree in the early levels. Now, I'm very curious as to what build Hani will go for here on this Ember Spirit. Level 2, he has points in Searing Chains and the Sleight of Fist. So no Flame Guard as of yet, but what's the new value build here? Is it like a 2 at level 5, a 2-3-0? Do you go Sleight of Fist primary? I mean, I'm just not sure exactly what the ideal Ember build is now with these changes.
We'll see people experiment. I guess the main thing is Flame Guard didn't get touched, so maybe now it becomes
the go-to.
A spell you want to max first, or certainly second. Sleight of Fist, I would still say, is worth the max for the cooldown reduction, but bottom lane, we're going to have a bit of a dive here on Moon, and yeah, he looks to be in trouble.
Yeah, No-Tail trying to path block best he
can. That body block, nicely done with the illusions.
And now they'll dive this tower. Illusions taking some of the tower shots for them, making this easier. The Elder Titan will retreat. Moon moving around the trees. In comes FNG, completely out of mana. And, well, Moon will use a healing salve. That'll keep him safe for now. Era getting chased back, and now No-Tail. He'll fall to the tower. And then,
actually, No-Tail overextends. He will go down. Will Era tick down? He's got one more Maledict tick. He is going to fall. Ooh. They get a double kill, and the Viper lives.
Wow, that's a huge swing. They needed to just
Corrosive skin made the difference there. Just that single point corrosive skin and the early rate of Basilius.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 melee heroes against Viper. Just not the best for diving in, but they almost had the kill.
Once the Viper got to about right here and the path block was no longer viable and he scooted between the two illusions, that was about the time they needed to be like,
they could have just backed. They could have just backed safely and
let's
just
cut our
chose
losses.
to dive.
But they chose to dive it, and the first illusion was tanking the tower, but then after that first illusion died, the tower switched to the real tree instead of the illusion, and that's what forced No-Tail to take so much damage. So I don't know if he right-clicked him or if that was just bad luck, but
things are
still unfortunate.
I guess taking a look at the overall state of the game, things are looking pretty good for PR in spite of the way the lane started giving up first blood with the Witch Doctor. They're two like kind of mid-game heroes. The Centaur and the Viper are both farming well. Cheshire Cat has his boots up, has something coming on the carry. I believe it's the Tranquil boots. And on top of that, he's getting his levels too. So not really being contested in the offlane. The tree's been bottom. They've been dual-laning mid, and Mirana by herself is not going to be able to zone out a Centaur. In fact, if she tries to harass him, she's just going to take too much damage from her turn. Although he's actually skipped return. But
yeah. Conversely, though, Luna is not farming that well in the mid lane. Only 10-4 right now compared to the 14-10 Ember Spirit, and a lot of that is because of the Lich, like you were talking about. Just limits the amount of creeps that Scandal has at his disposal, so each one that he misses is worth just a little bit more. And his CS isn't bad, but also not great. He won't be balling out of control anytime soon.
Yeah, the Luna will be here more for the aura and just her mid-game like team fight presence.
Yeah.
Maybe she catches up later on with a Dominator and some Ancient stacks, but this will not be your like AFK farm, Eternal Envy, Midas, Mask of Madness.
Yeah.
Try and be 6-slotted by 35-40 minutes if you're left alone.
Yeah. Hani now level 4, 2-2-0. Where's that value point coming?
There's supports coming in mid.
Uh-oh, Hani in big trouble. No-Tail is inbound. There's your Sleight of Fist to buy him some time. He'll scoot back to safety. Does have the Soul Catcher on. And No-Tail will actually be the one to fall. Fly, maybe in trouble, but Moonlight Shadow comes. That'll keep him alive. While that happened in the bottom lane, we did miss Moon getting a solo kill onto Era. So, hit level 6. Viper Strike came out, and
you're up against Viper, you should always carry a TP scroll, and he did not have one in his on his person, which if Viper goes on you, you just TP out. So that's a kill. That's an avoidable kill for Era, but
I like to call that Bloodseeker syndrome.
Mid lane, Hani gets caught by the cask. He will end up taking Elusive even to the face and will go down.
Fly's not out of the clear yet either.
6-1. They got first blood, and now they've given up 6 unanswered kills.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Fnatic looked like they could be in trouble. 2,500 gold, 2,000 experience going the way of Power Rangers. Viper, the leading last hitter by far, and now #1 on net worth. Even Luna getting those assists in the mid lane, now 0-0 and 3. She's pulled ahead, #2 on net worth, and out-farming the likes of the Ember Spirit. So that's one of the problems with Lich. Even though you can stop someone from farming creeps, if you just concede a few untimely deaths, it just makes up for the whole thing. Up top, beautiful leap from Trixie. That jukes the hoof stomp, and he survives.
Presses E. No, it was a good. It's very hard to hit the stomp combo though.
He spammed E. Well, yeah, that's true. That was a refraction moment there.
I'm guilty of those moments as well. Don't get me wrong. But top lane they're going in.
And this time Trixie doesn't have a leap, and they'll have plenty of damage to finish him off. Centaur with his double-edged hoof stomp duo. Yep, it hurts. So that's 7-1 now, and Hani in the mid lane. He'll take a cask, also takes the Maledict. I think he may tick down just from the dot alone. Yeah, he certainly will.
That's level 2 Maledict. He toast.
See ya. 8-1 at the 7-minute mark. I think Fnatic are more than in trouble now. 3,000 gold, 3,000 experience, and it's just climbing.
They've been stacking a lot for the Ember, but with the reduced Sleight of Fist, well, I guess it's the same on Creeps, but I mean, he's still got a farm, right? And he's not getting any kills right now. He's dying, so yeah, I don't know. They've got a double stack of the Ancients, a triple stack of the big camp over here, but it's going to be a while before he has any kind of items to bring these down, and no one else can really take Ancients. Tani still needs phase boots. We're 7.5 minutes in.
Yeah.
He's very poor.
Oh, up top. I caught the very tail end of it. It was a Treant for Centaur exchange.
Good trade for Fnatic, getting the offlane Centaur. He does not have Blink yet, up to 900 gold. Meanwhile, bottom lane, body block attempted, but
he's got a
has
haste rune. Yeah. So he'll be just fine. Probably would have been a kill otherwise, though. And Fly moving over to the Ancients. I think he'll just stack it up once again.
Yeah, basically Fnatic's game plan is just Turtle with the Lich Frost Armor and the Treant Living Armor on towers and get a 6-slotted Ember with the Elder Titan Aura backing him up. But it takes a while to get online. FNG being dove at the bottom river, though. Can this Witch Doctor make it out? Everybody's in pursuit. The Lich is quite mobile, and FNG's going to walk back in, unloads a cast. He'll take another Frost Blast to the face, then he'll go down. The heal not enough. Now Fly in trouble as well. The Dust gets deployed, and the Double Edge cleans it up. So in the end, well, a Lich for a Witch Doctor. Pretty trade for both teams.
Yeah, the only difference is Centaur is the one that walks away with the final kill, whereas the support Lich got the initial kill on Witch Doctor. Scandal in the mid, gets initiated upon, but he just throws out the Eclipse, and that's enough for a dead no-tail. Oh, man, Fnatic just getting overzealous in the mid lane. Good read from Scandal, though. Didn't hesitate whatsoever when he got caught by the chains, and ends up being an easy kill for him. Furthers his gold lead even more.
So Fnatic, at this point, basically just want to Turtle, limit the casualties, which might not happen as Trixie top lane will be purged, and now he's probably dead.
Yep, Leaf's already been used. Does throw an arrow out onto Shadow Demon, but the disruption, hoof stomp on the mark, and there's your double edge. Chain Frost will take a bounce, but goes right back into the creep.
That was some bad bounces.
That was very unfortunate. FNG taking some damage from the Astral Spirit, but will have a positive Urn Charge, and then also does have his Voodoo Restoration to pick him back up. Everyone on PR will survive virtually unscathed.
Yeah, Viper's going to have an early mech, too. Headdress is up. He's got the mechanism recipe. Just needs to farm the Buckler at this point and almost has Chainmail Gold. So he is very close to mech. And once they get mech, they'll have Centaur Blink around that time. Cheshire Cat with 1,700 gold. Power Rangers are just going to be coming for Fnatic. Diving them under towers. You've got Treant. You've got Lich. Tree is level 2. Level 3 now for no-tail. Had the first blood even, but
wow, look at that difference.
He's been spending all his time running between lanes and stacking. Like stacking the Ancients. He stacked this camp a few times as well in the dire jungle, and just hasn't been farming much.
Yeah, Fly will stack it once more, actually. Or at least try to.
All their eggs are just in the Ember Elder Titan basket right now. And it's the problem with that is it's just such a passive playstyle. Like, Tree and Lich are not supports that go around and get kills. They're supports that generally counter gank, turtle, and especially with the Frost Armor changes, I expect that we'll see even more of that style of play from Lich. But while they're doing that, Power Rangers can just secure objectives around the map. They can asphyxiate the opponent. They can take towers. Sure, there's Living Armor and there's Lich Frost Armor eventually, but they don't even have Frost Armor yet.
Yeah, I thought I heard a Stampede, but nope. And
just a Spirit thrown out bottom.
Yeah. Ember Spirit. He does have his phase boots now. He's at least level 7, so has Fire Remnants at his disposal. He can be a little bit more mobile, more difficult to lock down. Something coming on the courier. Just a bottle and a ring of protection there for Fly. Trixie will leap to the low ground. Smart choice as PR. Well, they were moving around the jungle, perhaps looking for that Mirana. There's your mech out on the Viper. And that's actually the first big item pickup this game. Fnatic have really nothing more than boots and that one ring of Aquila on Trixie.
So, looking at Hani's build, he has opted entirely to skip Flame Guard. This game could have... He's only brought Searing Chains to 2, which... And this is the old build, but I guess you get used...
No,
never mind. No,
yeah, this is just a... This is a new one.
Yeah, this is
never really seen this build before.
I'm getting them mixed up.
Yeah, it gets confusing.
But yeah, it's a little interesting to skip Flame Guard. There's a lot of nukes on PR.
Yeah. You know, Scandal, he gets caught inside the chains, but just not enough damage. Now Hani gets turned around upon, and with the Soul Catcher, more than enough damage. You see how much damage that Lucent Beam did? Now they'll press forward, they'll catch Fly, and Luna just snipes that one with the Lucent Beam, you snaky devil, Scandal. 14-3 here, 12 minutes in, LD.
They are Fnatic's just very weak right now. Like their supports can't exert pressure on the map. They can't really threaten towers. They don't have like the threat of relocate ganks this game. all they can do is turtle, stack Ancients, and try and farm the Ember. Like, I don't really see them getting many kills. The Mech, the Centaur Blink, and even just defensive heroes like Shadow Demon and Witch Doctor, plus Eclipse. So many of these PR heroes, you don't want to tower dive. And if you're not putting any pressure on them, they're coming for you. The one thing Fnatic will have, though, is the Living Armor, Tree Armor combo soon.
Ooh, long-range arrow does smack Scandal in the face here in the mid. Voodoo Restoration comes out to try and keep him topped off.
He has Eclipse. They have to be careful.
Forward, Searing Chains on the 2 targets he wasn't hoping for. Now, that is some bad RNG. that was
Yeah, if he actually goes on that, though, he's going to feed. Because they have Disruption, they have Witch Doctor ult, and they have Eclipse.
They had a Chain Frost available. So if you connected with the Luna, they might have been able to go in and drop the Chain Frost to make it happen. There's a 3-man Sleight of Fist. Arrow comes forward, and the Chain Frost does crippling damage to the Centaur. Also finishes off the Witch Doctor. Fnatic find their way into 2 kills in the mid lane without losing any of their own, and Hani gets a double kill. Great news.
They should be fighting with the Viper. He went for an early mech. He's just off farming bottom, but they should be grouping, because the other thing is, if they're spreading out, they're just chipping away at each tower, and Living Armor can completely negate that. If you group, you can just take the whole tower.
Yep.
So I would like to see them group with the Viper mech, and I expect PR is probably going to look to do that very soon.
Agreed. I think they may have just not realized that Fnatic had such a big rotation towards the mid lane there.
If they don't group with it, then that really favors Fnatic.
Yeah. Living Armor...
Early mech, early blink, they should be just 5-manning.
Yeah. And Living Armor is level 3, so it's potent enough now that these kind of weakened towers will definitely get picked up pretty quickly. Mid tier 1 already above half health, and this bottom tier 1 getting Living Armored as we speak.
And there's a Smoke Gang top lane. They're going to look to just force a fight. They are bringing the Viper and Centaur together. This I like from PR. This is the strength of their lineup. They're not bringing Scandal in, which is, he helps them take the towers, but with the Luna Arrow, but here they go.
Yep, the hop forward from Cheshire Cat, another beautifully placed leap from Trixie. But now he gets purged.
You could have just popped the ult as he blinked in and then run him down, even through the leap, but yeah, it's risky to dive with Tree there.
Yeah, so they save it, and now they'll just focus their efforts on this tower, it looks like. Not too much was lost, just a whiffed hoof stomp, no big deal.
But there's a point in Ice Armor now, Lich is level 8.
Uh-oh.
They gotta actually take towers. Like, you can't just bring it low. It's not gonna do enough otherwise. Can Fly get in range to use Frost Armor on the
Arrow
tower?
hits Viper. Now a TP coming in. There's your Earth Splitter on the point with Viper. No Tail with an Overgrowth. Connects with at least 3 of them. The defensive disruption comes out. J4 taking pretty hefty damage, but not before throwing some out onto Mirana. The ultimate from Witch Doctor enough to finish off the tree. Now the blink forward from Cheshire Cat. A 2-man hoof stomp, but the follow-up just isn't there. Moonlight Shadow flies, and it's only a 1-0. Tower still with plenty of hit points. PR will just back out.
Good for Fnatic not to lose the tower. They do give up a kill on the tree. They also used Overgrowth, and are they going to stick around? Trixie's so low. I don't know if they can. Mech's going to cool down in 15 seconds. Here comes Luna from the backside. Uh-oh.
Eclipse is ready.
She's got night vision as well, too, so she sees everything. She sees Fly.
Yeah.
They've gotten the vision. Fnatic are going to be trapped behind their own tower.
And Eclipse, here it is. Trixie, he gets dropped right away. Still holding onto the Eclipse, now burns it onto Fly. Fly does throw out the ultimate, but it is a 1-for-3 exchange, of course, going the way of Power Rangers. Cheshire Cat went up here, and he isolated that Elder Titan.
They all TP'd in to defend the tower, which meant once they stuck around, they had nothing to do. Hani's going for a backstab, though, tries to find the Shadow Demon.
And he'll find him. Searing Bolas, they do connect, but he sees the support inbound and will hop back to that Fire Remnant, unable to finish off the Shadow Demon.
Ember is 2 and 3. Like, Ember does feel a lot weaker this game. He has not threatened anyone. Part of the issue, I would say, for Fnatic is they picked Ember, but they picked him without heroes that he can go ganking with. There's no Puck. There's no Darkseer. There's no Sand Cane or, like, active and aggressive supports. But I think it is also the nerfs showing a little bit, at least. So
definitely a combination.
The Ember pick feels a little underwhelming thus far.
Yeah. No Tail. He walks right by a Sentry Ward. He's invisible now. They burn the Stampede for this. Oh, Cheshire Cat has dust as he hops forward. Throws it onto the tree, and now he's stuck in the trees.
Uh-oh.
And it gets scattered out by the Astral. The arrow's actually off the mark. Cheshire Cat's tanky, but is he tanky enough? FNG coming around the backside. Searing Chains connect. There's your defensive
disruption. They need to get the mech off. Moods found the positioning for it from the high ground. Nicely done. Turns the fighter on. Now they'll find Hani. Does he have a spirit to get out of here? Witch Doctor. Oh, look at it go. And down goes the Ember.
Luna, arrow comes in. It actually hits the Viper instead. That's good news for PR. Scandal on the defensive. There's your Overgrowth from Hani. Now Moon taking some right clips. They just don't have the follow-up damage. No Tail gets juiced.
They have no damage. All their damage is Chain Frost and Elder Titan spam. That is it.
And that was such a clutch disruption coming from J4 right there. He burned that Earth Splitter just for the Centaur, but he was disrupted when it came out. It did 0 damage.
And also nice movement from Moon. He his hero's path ain't funny, but he was up on the cliff and gave him medical assistance from the high ground. So that was literally the helicopter coming in and bailing him out.
The medevac, yeah, well done. And they get a tower out of it.
And Fnatic aren't getting to play their strat, which is Ancient's Dota, basically. Stack Dota. Farm stacks, get a fat Ember. This Ember is dying a lot, 2 and 4. And not going for Flame Guard, the Ember feels very squishy this game. PR so much nuke damage.
Yeah, you know, I'm usually not a big fan of that, that Ember Spirit Flame Guard primary build, but I think this is a game where you just can't pass it up, especially with the duo lanes mid. That's where Flame Guard is so good. It gives you lane control. You can clear out creeps, you do a lot of sustained damage, and, well, this build that he went for is good if you can grab kills, but he's not been able to do that. 2, 4, and 0.
Everybody's adjusting to the new patch. Hani's definitely, I'm sure, experimenting and evaluating what the right build is, but this game, it just feels like... I think the main issue is, like, sure, you can go for the more offensive build, maxing the first 2 spells, but there's not many heroes that combo well with it. Elder Titan's okay. Still doesn't have a point Echo Stomp, which is a lot of the reason to max the Searing Chains early, is for Searing Chains into Echo
Arrow
Stomp.
hits FNG, but he's still channeling that Voodoo Restoration.
Like, the only way they're going to win a fight here is if they get a Chain Frost on, like, 2 heroes on their own, but if PR are Deathballing is 5, and there's Disruption available and mech, then I don't see it working.
And No Tail needs to be a bit careful here. They don't have a gem, but they do have sentries. They've already put one down in the lane. If No Tail branches a little further
have they seen
forward.
Him here? Yes, they have.
Oh, they've got another one down. Actually, the Hoofstop from Cheshire Cat off the money. They'll throw a Lucent Beam. If they have another sentry, maybe they can secure this kill. They'll actually Stampede for No Tail.
4 sentry wards for No Tail.
That is some tree hate right there.
That's 400 gold, man.
Got some loggers in this game.
It's almost not worth it, but if they get the tower, then I suppose it is.
They're far enough ahead that they can afford to throw away some sentries like that, just almost for the cool points of just, you know what, No Tail, we see you sneaky tree, and we're not going to let you get away with it.
Power Rangers, Mighty and Morphine. Are they going to give Fnatic their first loss of the Summit Europe? To me, these 2 teams, Dog and... there's one other I'm forgetting, are the teams that I think are most likely to go to the playoffs and actually have a shot. And rox.kis, yeah.
Yep.
But rox.kis has lost more games and looks a little bit shakier so far, I would say. Power Rangers, to me, is a legitimate shot to make it to LA, fight for probably $100,000 plus in prize money at the rate the bundle's selling.
Definitely over. We're definitely breaking those 6 digits, LD. I have full faith.
Long
range arrow hits a creep.
Now they're going to start dewarding the sentries, but little do they know there are 4.
No Tail's like, guys, I think there might be a sentry or 2 down over here.
There's still this one that wasn't spotted.
Actually, yeah, there's still 3. And that one's... Oh, it's just out of range. That's so unfortunate, that little, like, 3 pixel difference there.
Yeah, it looks like it's actually in range, but it's because of the 3D perspective. And like you were doing, when you zoom in, you can see it's just slightly out.
Yeah, we have that weird kind of 3D angle. Or not 3D, bird's eye view. BKB up on Luna. She hasn't used it yet, but now has a Yasha. There's your Ags on the Viper, and, well...
They just can't do anything. Fnatic are... Like, there's no physical damage. Ember doesn't have... Oh, there's an Ags up on Viper as well.
Yep.
He can just start spamming ult at heroes. And, like, what does Fnatic do? They can't burst anyone down unless that hero is isolated. There's Witch Doctor Heal to fight through. Witch Doctor Heal, already level 3 as well. That is... 32 HP heal per second, plus you've got the mech burst heal, and everyone's tanky.
Yeah.
Even the Shadow Demon at least has an urn. This is very hard to stop.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Witch Doctor has really had a big impact this game. And now even this tier 2 tower, even with the Lich armor and Living armor coming through, yeah, it's annoying. It slows down their DPS a little bit, but ultimately, if you can't take a fight, defending the tower is not that easy. They have enough damage, they can just cut through it.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of feeling like Living Armor Tree is going to be the new Coddle PL. I never thought Coddle PL was broken. Maybe Coddle was a tiny bit too strong, but it was just really annoying to play against and like a very kind of cheesy strat. And this Lich Tree combo to me, they didn't have the best start, but they got first blood. And honestly, I just feel like Lich Tree is such an inactive support duo that yeah, it sounds great on paper, but you got to get through the laning stage, the mid game even, where before you have max Frost Armor, before you have max Living Armor, where teams are just 5-manning at you, they're just deathballing at you. I just think it's going to turn out to be, like, in practice, not broken, just very annoying.
I think it's kind of like the Ancient Apparition Venomancer duo, where if you go to late game, they get all their big items, you have Ag Scepters, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
There's
like
no
double
way to deal with
Ags,
it.
double level 16 all.
But those two as supports, they do not synergize well. They don't give you a lot of utility, they're very slow, they're very easy to gank, you just pick a Clockwork, and anytime he sees them with a hook shot, they're pretty much dead. But where that strat does work, if you put Venomancer in the solo mid-roll and let him have more of a driving seat, and then get another support on top of that. And I think if you put Lich in like the off-lane role, and then have another support to pair with the tree that's more aggressive, like a Shadow Shaman or something, it could work. But yeah, Hani will get initiated on by Cheshire Cat here. He's got a Fire Remnant, he'll hop back to it. And down bottom, they're gearing up to get a gank on Moon. They'll dive the tower, No Tail coming in first. There's your Overgrowth, Arrow is on the money. FNG got caught by the Overgrowth as well. Earth Splitter, but they're just too darn tanky. That's it.
They'll just back
can't
up. Kill him.
Yeah.
Witch Doctor heal as well. But this is a lot of heal.
Mech plus the Restoration is just too much.
And he went Soul Rain on the Witch Doctor, which generally I'm not the biggest fan of on most supports, but I actually like it on Witch Doctor. I think he needs the base HP that Treads give you. We saw how squishy he was in the laning stage.
Yeah.
And Soul Rain deals with the incredible mana requirements of this hero pretty nicely. Plus, their team doesn't hugely need Arcane Boots. They've got the one parent Shadow Demon, so I think one of the few games where I really like Soul Rain on a support. I think this is a pretty good choice.
Yeah. But before that little engagement broke out, well, hold that thought again, is now Trixie. He gets Viper struck, does have a TP, but it's on cooldown, doesn't have a leap either. Oh no, Trixie. There's an easy kill.
Nice Force Staff as well.
Did he just leap in to kill the creeps? Is that what happened there? I don't think he used his leap for anything particularly useful. That's just really unfortunate.
I didn't see.
Yeah, I didn't see it
I
either.
think it was just cooling down from an earlier engagement because it's only a level 2 leap, 26-second cooldown.
Ouch.
So it was probably before the Viper even showed up.
Yeah, and now PR will just move into the Roach pit. But yeah, before that engagement broke out, I think that's really the only way you can make this Lich tree work.
Lich offlane has so many problems, though.
Yeah, and again, that's still not ideal.
He can't, like, he's annoying, but most of the benefit of the denies is negated by just pulling. So, yeah, he's denying creeps in lane, it hurts your carry a bit, but you can just pull. The carry can just play a bit greedier, get a Midas, and also Lich offlane, he can't really threaten ganks on other lanes. He's only really as good as a counter ganker, and the biggest issue is he can't stop the push. So
yeah,
I don't see Lich offlane like as a solo being too common. I think dual lane Lich in some matchups can be strong.
Look at this. Power Rangers, they try to stack the Fnatic Ancients once more before they take it out. This is really big right here. This has been like Fnatic's big trust fund that they've been working on this game, and Power Rangers will just swoop in, snipe it.
That's devastating. Like I was saying, even at like the 5-minute mark, Fnatic were just gearing up for 6-on Ember status.
Yeah.
With the Elder Titan armor backing him up. Very tanky Ember with Frost armor as well as Living armor, but yeah, that ain't happening. He does have a Desolator. Fnatic do still have their high ground. I wouldn't 100% rule them out, but I would rate their chances very low simply because PR have the overwhelming item and level advantage at this point.
I would give it a good 10% chance.
Yeah,
or
like
so.
10 to 20, but it could still happen. Power Rangers have to be careful.
Yeah.
They have to respect the just AoE defense of Fnatic. Chain Frost, Elder Titan Ultimate, Elder Titan Spirit. Meanwhile, bottom, everybody's hiding in the trees.
Yeah. Luna now has a Manta online, and of course has the Aegis following Roche. Cheshire Cat, we saw his Force Staff earlier, but he's got a Reaver now in the inventory. And actually, Fnatic will find another item pickup. That's a Maelstrom on Trixie. So between the Desolator and the Maelstrom, they've at least got 2 decently sized items now that will help their damage output in these next fights. Will it be enough to deal with the healing power of PR, though? That is the question.
This is mainly for the Mjolnir buff for Hani, I feel, more than even for the Maelstrom pickup. And it's all about the super strong Ember, but is he tanky enough? The Frost armor is starting to add up, though. He's up to 16 armor. It's pretty respectable.
They will smoke and Moonlight Shadow and press through the Radiant Jungle.
No gem on Power Rangers and no sentries. That is a little surprising against Mirana, but they're playing it safe and backing off, so that's pretty smart.
Got Lichy in the front lines here. He's going to scout it out. Smoke and Moonlight Shadow both expire before they find anyone. Power Rangers maybe a little bit lucky there as they just move towards the west side of their jungle as Fnatic are coming in, but that's a pretty costly gank attempt there. A lot of effort, and of course they burned a smoke.
It's just like it's not safe for them to go into the woods and farm is the problem. Their Ancients aren't stacked anymore. If they get caught at the Ancients, they're probably getting team wiped, so they have to go for something like that. But when it doesn't work, it's just more wasted time. Here comes the push mid. This could be the end, honestly. Manta Style's online. Scandal's pretty strong in the front lines. Power Rangers will want to end the game right now.
Yep, and Scandal still has the Aegis, but he'll get Echo Stomp, hit by an arrow, force stabbed back, and then defensively disrupted. And look at that, just throwing out the glaives, mech, positive urn, and that Voodoo Restoration. Scandal's right back into fighting shape with the Aegis in tow. There's your glyph from Fnatic. And our Dire team quickly running out of resources to defend here, LD.
Buyback status. There's none on the Ember Spirit. There is, however, an Elder Titan and Murana, so that could turn the fight potentially.
Yeah, now that the glyph is down, they'll just start doing work on this tower. Echo Stomp connects with 3. Nicely done
no
by
arrow
the Elder
follow-up,
Titan,
though.
but
And No Tail doesn't have Blink either, so he has to walk in and ult.
yeah, that is not going to be easy. Ember Spirit does throw a couple of boas. There's your Chain Frost, but oh, the disruption! Oh my god, Scandal will fall. That procs the Aegis. Centaur eventually gets picked off. That Chain Frost doing work. Lichy, he's making it happen. He may actually keep their barracks alive. Now FNG, he'll take some damage, but Mech is up once again. There's the overgrowth from No Tail, but the Voodoo Ward has already come down, does a little bit of damage. They'll all back out, and PR will be forced to retreat.
Yeah,
despite that
Fnatic
disruption.
are down 20k gold and 12k experience, and it's still very difficult for PR to break high ground. That is the power of this draft. Even though they're incredibly passive, like this is where the game is hard. Imagine if Fnatic had a slightly better laning stage, had maybe one more item on Ember. I could see them just wiping PR, but
Yeah.
well,
Ooh,
there
Viper's
is still a pretty farm Luna here, and they're going to go for it again.
Yep. Even though Luna
I
lost
think.
the Aegis, she still has that 10-second BKB. She hasn't burned it even once. And that means that Scandal's just looking to be patient and saving it for that big cataclysmic team fight.
Also, Fnatic isn't exactly leaving their base right now, so
Yeah. So
yeah,
PR
you
just
lose it.
farming.
You lose the Centaur. They still take the tier 3, so it's still good for PR. It's just
And they force out the glyph as well, so this next push will be a lot easier.
yeah, it's just it's
Still
Fnatic are down
equitable,
20k
yeah.
gold, and they're still hard to go high ground against.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That is. There was also a small degree of luck in that Chain Frost as well. It took a lot of hero bounces and did a lot of damage as well. So
And Fnatic stay undefeated. They're 4-0 so far in the group stage. They have the inside track for first place, but a loss here, I think, means Power Rangers would be tied with them and hold the tiebreaker. Power Rangers is 3-1, correct?
yes, if Power Rangers win this, they will be tied for 4-1 apiece.
Yeah. Same tiebreak rules as Star Ladder, so it'll be head-to-head first, and if there's like a three-way tie, then we would go to tiebreak matches, potentially, assuming that the head-to-heads are all, 1-1,
Right.
1-1, 1-1. So we'll see. But yeah, having head-to-head matchup, definitely important, and PR, looking good. Let's see if they close it out.
Heart of Tarask now up on the Centaur. He's got the Vitality booster coming, so he'll be a lot tankier now, and it looks like Viper is going to follow a similar route.
Yeah, they should. That's exactly what they need to do, is just tank up and ideally get hearts so that they can just spam down the tower a bit with Mantle Illusions and then heal and go back.
Yep.
They are going in top now, though. They're smoked up. They want to go.
Oh no, J4 and FNG in big trouble. Witch Doctor just gets destroyed. And well, in comes Scandal with the Eclipse. That'll be enough to finish off Lich. Chain Frost has already been thrown. And it will be a 1-for-1 for now. Pings coming out on both sides. There's your 10-second BKB from Scandal. Moonlight Shadow from Fnatic. And it will end just support for support. Again, J4 with that defensive disruption keeps himself alive. And he is also the gem carrier. So good news for PR that of the two supports that were standing there, it was Witch Doctor that got picked off and not Shadow Demon.
Fnatic definitely understand that they're losing this game if they just get stuck in their base and aren't farming.
Yeah.
They're not stacking Ancients. They're not farming their own big stack, their own big creeps because PR are taking it. They do have to go for plays like that. The other thing is when PR get the second Ages and just 5-man and group up with the new Heart you mentioned, Scandal Satanic likely coming soon. At that point, I don't know if they can hold on. They need more items on the Ember. And let's see, what does he have? Crystallis? He's slowly getting there. I still think he'll need to go back for a Battle Fury at some point, but
Yeah.
we'll see if he gets the farm for it.
He's found a little bit of item progression. The crit certainly will help in these engagements.
Actually, the other thing is Maelstrom there's a big improvement for Ember's Maelstrom, which is that Maelstrom no longer has a cooldown on the proc. So you can proc like 5 Maelstrom lightning charges in a row in theory.
So you can have multiple lightnings jumping around at the same time.
Yeah,
now?
it used to be as long as one was bouncing, you could not have another proc.
That's a really big buff, actually, for certain heroes that can throw out fast auto attacks. And Ember is one of them. If there's a
Yeah.
lot of creeps nearby,
Yeah.
that adds up really quick, actually.
Or potentially like a Troll Warlord or something, someone who's got just insane attack speed.
Yeah. Wow, that makes me want to queue up some Troll.
I wonder if that might have been a better choice than Desolator, but Desolator is like the most cost-effective single target DPS, so it makes your teammates hit a bit harder.
And Luna will not be going for that Satanic, as we were mentioning. Does grab the Eagle Song, so of course it is a butterfly that will pop into the Moonrider's inventory.
Well, they are hunting her a bit. Ani wants to go for this. They use the smoke again as well. Fnatic are just kind of fighting on the periphery. They don't want to fight head-on.
Yeah, Glyph is coming up in just about 10 seconds, so PR will extinguish that window of opportunity. Arrow flies through, hits a creep, and kind of a close call. They'll now press into the base. Glyph in 2 seconds. They'll do a little bit of chip damage. And now this fight will break out. Ice armor on both buildings.
They're just not dropping. Like, the double heart, they're too tanky. I don't know if Fnatic can do it. Cheshire Cat does take a bit of damage, but they can just back off now. They can just chill. They don't have to force her right now if they want.
And they've still got Luna just throwing those bouncy glaives all over. She does have the BKB available, still has the Manta as well. Now throws it out as soon as the Leech Seed comes. Ranged Rax taking heavy damage, will be the first to fall. Fnatic just can't find the opening to engage. There's your Chain Frost. Bounces through a few heroes, but most of it gets absorbed by creeps.
Don't bounce to the Luna!
Close call.
Now they just want to back off, heal up. That's all they have to do. They have they don't have Urn charges though, so the Luna... oh yeah, they have Witch Doctor heal as well as the mech.
Yeah. But
Arrow.
Ooh, flies through very
They
close.
can't dive that far, and they still get the range Rex. This is slow and steady from PR, and Fnatic are up against it.
Yep. So now there's just one building remaining. Ember, he gets hit by the Viper Strike. Where's the rest of the Fnatic follow-up? No Chain Frost this time. They still have the Overgrowth, but where's the damage going to come from?
The Chain Frost is like half of their damage, too. And now they lose the Ember. This 2-hero stop. In comes Cheshire Cat. This is trouble.
And now No Tail. He'll just get dove. Scandal pops the BKB. Era will probably be the lone defender. No, he'll let the tree survive as well. Gives him a free pass there, but won't save the mid-racks. Mirana does buy back from Fnatic. It is a 5v3 on the field. Where will PR go from here? They could go for the throne, they could go for a tier 3, and they'll take the safe play. They'll go for the tier 3.
You take the 2 lanes of Rex here.
Yes,
Don't overextend against Fnatic. They are very strong if you overextend. Good chasing lineup, but yeah, the Chain Frost was somewhat wasted there, though I can't fully blame him because they were about to lose Rax, and Fly just felt like he had to make a play. But ideally, they want to wait for Searing Chains into a Stomp, into an Overgrowth, and then into a Chain Frost once the creeps are cleared with Earth Splitter. And GG, Fnatic. They went cheesy. I'll call it cheesy. I'm not afraid of that. With the Lich Tree and... no, too much cheese.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that they did it, though. They were in a good position in the group stage. This probably... I think their top 4 is still secured, so it may hurt their seeding a little bit in the brackets, but of all the times to experiment with something new in this patch, I think this was an appropriate time.
Yeah, and Power Rangers still can lose games to other opponents. They have to play, let's see, coming up today, they have to play VP Dog, as they're done after today. So Power Rangers, I could see them losing to Dog. I don't see them losing to VP, so that's the big match. If they win those last 2 games, Power Rangers have probably... I think they've just locked up first place at that point, actually.
Yeah. And there were 3 heroes on the side of Power Rangers that game that did not concede a single death. Luna ending 7-0 and 10, Shadow Demon 3-0 and 11, and Viper 4-0 and 8. I'll tell you what, though, those defensive disruptions were next level. There were a lot of times that engagements were turned around.
Yeah, that was... J4 played a hell of a game.
Yeah, very impressive.
3-0 and 11. He was also active in the kills, but yeah, the defensive disruptions were
insane.
The most important thing.
Yeah, some pretty big demonic purges as well. That wraps up our 3rd game of the day. We're at that halfway point, and here are your updated standings. Fnatic and Power Rangers, both 4-1, topping the charts. And coming up next, it will be PR versus... I think you just said it, but...
PR versus VP, and then PR versus Dog.
Okay.
So PR will be done their group stage in 2 games.
2 games coming up. So... don't go anywhere, guys. We'll have a short break. You're watching the Summit EU, powered by Twitch. I'm Zyori, this is LD, and we've got plenty more Dota 2 action coming your way on Beyond the Summit after this short break.